Well, hello there, and we're getting ready to export this file over to Catalyst. So I'm just going to pop myself over to the home page. Now, we ended off that last presentation or that last exercise with me saving it as a PNG image. Now, we want to get this out to Catalyst. And to do that, it's real simple. File, Export. And when the export dialog box opens, you want to select FXG and images. FXG is the format that's able to be read by Flash Catalyst. By the way, FXG and images is also a fabulous alternative to exporting Fireworks images out as images that can be read or pages that can be read by Illustrator. Illustrator will read these FXGs like nothing else, and they will come in as full PostScript and everything else. So if Illustrator 8 is not your way to go, then FXG definitely is. So we're going to use the FXG in images, and the other thing to be aware of is all pages. Okay, you want to make sure that all pages go, and that will include the master page, home, culture, and wildlife. Now, I save these things to a separate folder called FXG, and when you click the export button, literally, this thing will just disappear. And you can then quit Fireworks, and you can open Catalyst, which is what we're going to do. So I'm not going to save this file because I've already saved it. And when you open Catalyst, this is what you see. And we're going to open this from, you can either open it from a recent project, and you can see I've got a whole bunch of recent projects here. By the way, Tanzania Final is the exported file from Fireworks, all jazzed up, and I'll show you that in a minute. So from FXG, I'm going to navigate to the FXG folder, which is in the Web Design Toots folder, Part 4, because that's what this is. There's that FXG folder, and there's the FXG document, and you can just double-click it to open it. And what will happen is it will analyze the file. Now, this may have there may be a small error kicked up here. As I said, it might just involve using the Orator font. Yep, there it is. Don't worry about it. Orator is there. It's looking for the medium family. So if I select Escape to Another World, you can see that there's the font there, and all I got to do is just select medium. So it's not the end of the universe. But what came in was the master page. There's the home page. There's the culture. And there's the wildlife page right there. So I think it's a pretty interesting way of doing things, don't you think? And you know, what you're going to be doing here is basically pulling this thing together. And one of the things, as I said, was that we were going to be using some videos. So to get a video in, all I did was I selected the image where the video would go, deleted it out, File, Import, Video Sound File, and there's the home FLV. Okay, it uses FLV and F4V files. And I just put that into place. Now it's got a player here, but I can come over to the Properties panel and set the player to none. And then all I have to do is make sure that this is at 0. It's not hanging off the page. And then Modify, Arrange, Send to Back. And there it is. It's in behind. I'm going to do the same thing with the culture page. Okay, so I'll just delete it. File, Import, Video Sound File, Culture, FLV. There it is. Goes in. Now this one is sort of over everything. So I'm just going to get it into position. Again, kill the controller because I want it to not show. So I'll change it to none. And the other thing I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to close the interactions. The other thing I'm going to do with this is autoplay. So when I come into this page, this video will autoplay. And again, modify, arrange, send to back. And there's the text. And I guess I should get this video to autoplay as well. So we'll just select that. Now I said there was a video on the master page, and one of the great things about working with Catalyst is it's very much like working with any other application with the library. Import once, use many. So there's the home FLV. Just bring it in. Bump it up where it's supposed to go, up against Tanzania here. Again, none on the wireframe, autoplay, and there we go. Now the buttons. The buttons are very simple. All I had to do was just select the text, and I choose a component. I want it to be a button component. And you notice that now, this is, by the way, is called the HUD, the heads-up display. And you notice it's got up, over, down, and disabled. So if I click up, you'll notice that the page changes to states. Okay, so these are the states. So I've got home, over. Now all I want to do with the over button is turn it red. Okay, so I'm just going to select the text and change the color to red. And there we go. And then I can just come back here and I just say this button here, when I click it, I use the interactions panel. And what I do is I click Add Interaction, and on click, play transition. And where am I going to go? Well, I'm going to go to the home page. So I select Home. Click OK. And you notice there's the button. So now all I need to do is pull out my handy-dandy little notepad, and in the Properties, note its location, right there on the X and the Y. And then just come on over to the master page and other pages where it belongs and just pull that button into position. And it will take me wherever I want to go. Now, the wildlife page. This is the text. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shorten this text right here. I'm just going to pull it up a bit. Okay, there we go. Now, remember what I said. We can turn these quickly into components. And it's a two-step process. The first thing you do is you select the component, just like that. Make sure that I don't select anything else. And I'm going to convert this to a component, and I'm going to convert it to a vertical scroll bar, not a horizontal scroll bar. And it's going to ask me to edit the parts. Okay, so I'm going to have to identify the parts. And if you remember the previous one, I said I needed 4 parts, 2 of which were optional. The up and the down arrows are optional, but the thumb and the base are not. So I click the Edit Parts button, and it now asks me to identify the parts. So I click on that, and what part is that? Well, that's the thumb. And then I click on this part, and it asks me, what part's that? Well, that's the track. Okay, the track of the base. What part is this? Well, this is the up arrow, or up button. And what part is this? Well, this is the down button. And now that I've done that, I can go back to my main page. And this time what I do is I hold down the Shift key and I select both the text and the component, and I convert that to a component, which is a scroll panel. And it asks me to edit the parts, and so I click on this and I just tell it, that, folks, is the scrolling content. And that's all I need to do. And when I come back, in it comes. And to see what it looks like, File, Open Project. I'm going to go to the previous project. So I'm going to open Recent. Tanzania Final, which is, I don't need this one, don't save. And what I've done here is, again, there's that order error. And what I've done here is thrown the buttons in. Okay, and everything is where it's supposed to be. You can see that little thing moves. This is all wired up. This is ready to go. And what's it look like? Well, let's give it a shot. File, Run Project. And what it will do is it'll just like in Flash, it's a matter of fact, same command, it's just a test swift. And what it will do is we'll open up the file in the browser. And you can see there's that video. If I want to go to the home page, there's that video again. There's the culture page. There's the video. And if I go to the wildlife page, There's the scrolling text. If I want to go back to home, I can do that. So there you go. There's using Fireworks to go to Catalyst, and then taking your Fireworks work in Catalyst and jazzing it up. I think it's a pretty neat workflow.